everyone, and it's Chelsea of Ice Dragon Cosplay again, and this is my first ever episode of Wig Wonder Wednesday. Yay! Okay, so in this episode, I just want to talk about the basics. So first off, before I get into showing you how to remove wefts and how to add them to a new wig, I want to talk about a lot of the supplies I use. That way I won't have to go over it every time in each video. So, one of the supplies you're definitely going to need is like a tiny pair of scissors. This is just going to help you cut wefts so much better. And this is one of my favorite combs to use, because this way it's easy for me to comb in, grab small amounts of hair. I don't usually use the teasing side, but there are some times that I'll find it useful. For brushes, you can use a wig brush, which I do sometimes use, but I actually find that a full bristle brush is the best. Of course, bobby pins. Yes, you will need bobby pins. Sometimes I have them permanently attached to some of my wigs. So these are also a big help. I think they're alligator clips. I only have 4. I wish I had a lot more, but they're really big help. Maybe these are alligator clips, but I also use these. They're just not as helpful as the other ones. So, spray bottles are always good. This has actually got one of my secret potions in it, which is just, basically, it's mane and tail conditioner. Then I put like a quarter size in the bottle, and then I add a little bit of hot water. You're probably like, what do you use that for? It's just a replacement for mane and tail's detangler spray, which if you can get a hold of that, I highly suggest you use that instead. And it's great stuff because it's really helps synthetic hair kind of keep its shape, not get tangled so much, and it's great. It's absolutely great stuff. So, let's get on to what I put my wigs on. So, a lot of times you'll see me use my foam heads, and this is great because you can put pins into them. The one I specifically use, I think I got from Sally Beauty, because I don't actually use this one specifically. It has a hole in it, which is why I use that one from Sally Beauty's, because then I take one of my light poles that I put my lighting on for my photography, and I just put it right on. The only downside is you can't see me struggle with it. It moves. So I'm trying to upgrade to a Wig Head Block. And right now she's really tangled up because she's been sitting in my closet, but it doesn't have a face. It's just a wig head block, and what I do like is the wig stays on, but maybe it's just the stand I got, but I don't really like it. It doesn't tighten very easily, and I'm kind of having the same problems I have with the styrofoam head. So I'm still learning how to use the wig head block. And I just got that on eBay. So, the other thing you're going to need are these kind of pins, these T-pins, or basically, they have different baubles. I like to get these ones, which are sort of like hat pins, because they have the little pearl top, which makes it a lot easier to see. But you can see how long the pin is. Just makes it so that, like, if my wig is on my head, I can say, she's not going anywhere. Okay. You can pick those up on eBay as well. I actually got some T-pins that came with my wig block, my head block. So that was really good too. Other products. So, the big one I like to do is after I style everything, I like to use Frozen Stiff Hairspray, which is Beyond the Zone. I just get it from Sally Beauty's. Stuff's great. I even use it on my hair when I bother to style it. And the other one, I don't always use this, but the Big Sexy Hair, which is, if you want to make your hair pumped up a bit, it's a root pump. Same thing, Sally Beauty's. Now, the other big thing, you're going to see me use this in pretty much almost every video, is my steamer. Yay! I just got the cheapest one from Walmart, and it does the job. Because all you're going to need is this, is just when you're curling your wigs or trying to get a different style, you're going to need a steamer. I know there are people that like to boil wigs. I have not done this. I think it would just make a big mess, and this is just so much easier for me to use, and it only cost me, what, like 10 bucks at that? Like I said, just from Walmart. Now, the other big one is these things, which are, I'm sure you guys have seen them. They come in multiple sizes. They bend. They're supposed to be for curling your hair, and they are fantastic. I got my little bag of them, which is actually half empty, but I got this on eBay. It comes with multiple different sizes, which are all color-coded. I got it for an amazing price. It was like 8 bucks or something. So if I can find the listing again, I will link that down in the description, because those are expensive. Like, I know if you go to Sally's, you only get like a handful, like for $12 or something crazy. So definitely it's worth searching for like the bundle on eBay, because you're going to get it such a better deal. And the other one, which I couldn't find it, which is just basic curling, little curling irons. Take out the bristly part, and what you do is just pin them into your wig. And of course you will see me use these later on in some of my more in-depth character themed videos. So now we can get on to the portion about actually cutting wefts and stuff. But before I let you guys go and watch me do that, I'd just like to say that if you could please subscribe, you know, that would mean a lot. And it means also that you'll get to see all of my other Wig Wonder videos in the future, which come out every third Wednesday of each month. And let's just get on to it and start doing the weft work. So we're going to start out with this wig, and this will be the wig that I take my wefts off. As you can see, those lines indicate kind of where the wefts are. See, and then we're going to look at it from the other side. The best way to do this is to try and start from the bottom. That's at least my personal preference. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my little scissors and just lightly snipping the threads that hold the wefts into place. You gotta be really careful at this step, because you could cut the weft in half, or you could cut the hair on the weft. This is sped up, but I actually take quite a bit of time doing this, just to be careful. You can also use a seam ripper if you don't want to use scissors, but I still find scissors the best way to get it started. The reason I go with the wefts that are on the back of the wig, when I say back of the wig, I mean like these are the wefts where it would be lying against your neck. The reason I pick these ones is they do tend to be the longer wefts, and that's what a full weft right there looks like. So now we're going to prepare the wig that I'm going to sew the wefts into. So this is what she looks like with no wefts. I'm using my special little potion to, you know, just kind of get her detangled and everything. And I'm going to use my wig brush and my bristle brush to just get that saturated into the wig and kind of get it all soaked through. As you can already tell, it really helps to detangle the wig. And this is going to make it so much easier for us to work with. Now I'm going to clip the bangs out of the way. Alright, so I didn't speed this process up just to make it easier to see. But as you can tell, we're going to look for bald patch areas. Like there's one right there. Oh yeah. This is the needle I use to sew my wefts into. I like the curved needles. I just find them easier. Here's all my wefts that I've taken apart from another wig. I like to usually baggy them up. So now we're going to just start separating the hair. As you can see, there's a huge gap in this wig. And pretty much we're going to go through and fill these gaps with wefts. This is going to help fill out the wig, make her look less bald, and just make her look higher quality. Here's a close-up view. So I've pulled all the hair up, and I've pinned it aside. And now I'm going to pin my wig to the head to help it make it easier and definitely stabilize my wig more. So go ahead and grab whichever weft you want. And to start, I'm gonna, oops. So the best way to start it is where the elastic is. I was having some problems with my needle there. It was not wanting to catch. I had to
knot it a couple times. I decided that I don't like how much of hair is in my way, so I'm going to actually clip it a bit more. Okay, and now we're going to attach our weft. So I also find that pinning my weft in place so I can see where I want to put it and to help stabilize the weft and hold it in more to the wig is also the better way to go. So I'm pinning my weft so I know exactly where I want it to go. You can see it still has some strings attached to it from when it was sewn into the other wig. You can just remove those. The main thing is, when you're sewing your weft in, you want to make sure that you're catching the wig cap so that it holds it in place. And the really important times when you really definitely got to make sure you have it held in place well is near that elastic where it starts and ends, because this is what's going to ensure that where it takes the most pressure because you're pulling it on your head is going to be holding it very well. Other than that, I mean, you can kind of go with a basting stitch the rest of it. You can really do tight stitching if you want, but you're just going to be causing yourself a lot of time and hassle. It's just going to be more of practice, practicing and making sure, what I do is I usually sew it in and tug once the weft is sewn in. As you can see, I just did. So I've gone and I've sewn all the way to the end. As you can see, my weft is longer. You're just going to zigzag it back up until you get to where it ends. This is very normal. Most wefts are super long like this. You'll find that out when you're taking it off of the other wig. Again, this is another point where it really needs to be secure because it's on that edge near the elastic. Thread choice, I always suggest just going with the thread that's the closest to the wig color that you're using. Like I did red thread for this one because I'm doing my Ariel wig here, and she's got red hair. Some people choose to go with the same color as the wig cap, but that's really just up to you. I certainly wouldn't if you're doing a wig like this, I certainly wouldn't be I think I'll go with vibrant teal. Okay, and to finish it off, I'm just going to take another weft and continue it along. If you don't want to use a super long weft, you can always cut it. It's not going to destroy it if you cut the weft shorter. So when I'm connecting the two wefts is another really important time to make sure you get a pretty secure stitch. So one of the hardest things when stitching wefts is making sure you don't catch the hair so it's sticking up funny. And once I've sewn in each section and filled up one of my bald spaces, I go ahead and spray my little potion, or if you're using the detangler spray from Mane and Tail, it's a good time to spray it and brush it through again. You're also going to see that it's secure and if it needs sewing anywhere. Once you've done that and you've sprayed it and brushed it, it's time to kind of flip the wig back into place and check for more bald spots and of course do some more spraying. I obviously have another section I'm going to fill into this wig, and that's the whole point of doing this with a cheap wig like this and making it look good. Is it's going to have those gaps are about 3 inches. That's crazy. And I know it seems silly that I buy 2 cheap wigs, but it still saves me money over buying one really overly priced wig that I'm personally never that happy with anyway. There have been a few times I have some good finds, but I'm not I've worked with other people's wigs that were Arta wigs, and I'm just, not to badmouth them, but I was kind of wow, for such an expensive wig, it's really underwhelming. So I find it, in my opinion, just personally better for me to buy like two $13 or $12 or $11 wigs and just mesh them together to get what I want, because I'm going to save more money than buying official wig store stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much the general idea of wefting.
Alright everyone, so that was how I did my weft work. So now we've gotten over through the basics and we can just jump right into doing the different characters next week. So as always, don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to leave all of the links in the description at the bottom of the video where you can find these products and whatnot. As always, you can also see a lot of my work on Facebook. And if you want to support me more, you can support me through my Ko-fi. Alright everybody, I'll see you next time. Bye.